Hey there, welcome to episode 33 of the Let's Innovate for Vegas audio program. I'm your host, Managing Director of the Innovate for Vegas Foundation, Dan Hugo. Today is Friday, October 6, 2023. Recording today's episode by myself, but it's an important month. Hacktober is here. Let's get to it. Hacktoberfest is going on all month. It's a very cool idea. It's sort of like Movember, Hacktoberfest. You are invited to participate in open source projects, projects that want to be participated in. These projects can tag themselves with the Hacktoberfest tag in GitLab and GitHub. There's a general discovery platform at hacktoberfest.com. You can set up events like virtual hackathons or other gatherings, real or virtual. It's a cool thing. It's a cool thing to sort of focus attention. Not everybody understands what open source is. Not everybody knows that open source can include not code. The world revolves around people. Code is important. It is often made the most important thing. It really isn't. I don't know if you can hear that plumbing. That's the most important thing today. The notion of Hacktoberfest, we formed our foundation, our 501c3 determination would come on October 12, I think it was, 2022. So we were asked a couple of times, are we participating in Hacktoberfest? And I said, well, we barely have anything, sorted. Since then, we have our free team tier on GitHub. Thank you for that. Charities get a lot of free stuff. So our 501c3, Google Workspace, GitHub team, team tier, I guess. A few other things. So we're sort of in a better position. We have several projects in various states of not done. So that will work out nicely if we can at least get some attention. I'm sure there will be a sense that there's really not a lot done on some of them, but all of our projects are specified, collaboratively. So with our declining participation in the greater Vegas area, we're reaching out beyond Nevada to get participation from a lot of civic volunteers who might otherwise have, I'm not going to say nothing to work on, but circumstances have changed recently for the brigade infrastructure of Code for America, and it's possible that there are people interested in projects of a civic nature, civic volunteerism for their own communities. And none of our projects are particularly Vegas specific. So two great tastes, right? So yeah, Hacktober, Hacktoberfest, also two great tastes. And so we're hoping that we can get some attention, get some light shining on our current projects, maybe come up with some ideas for future projects, maybe get some people that would like to participate. One of the selling points, I suppose, of our projects here in Vegas, you can innovate for Vegas. You don't need to innovate in Vegas. I should work on that delivery. But our projects are not necessarily aimed at residents of a city. They're certainly not pointed away from them, but there are circumstances where certain takes, for example, our open transit project, obviously interesting for people who get to work or school. I myself do not own a car anymore. I sold it off when I was traveling for Intel, when I was working for them. So never home, never needed a car. Why have one? And I've not looked back. So I use our public transit system, and a lot of people who live here do, but a lot of people visiting Vegas from other places use public transit, especially if they come from a place, a city or a region of origin that itself enjoys a common use of public transit. This is especially true in Europe. Some parts of Europe, you really can get around everywhere without much thought of a car, or not daily use of a car anyway. Pedestrian, bicycle, light rail, buses, coaches, sometimes a shared, a ride share type vehicle, Lyft and Uber, taxis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So car ownership is not the end all and be all in many places around the world. And so people who visit Vegas are often inclined to use public transit. And I may have mentioned this before, but our public transit system in Southern Nevada needs some help. So anyone who has insights and interest and desire to participate could work on what we are calling the open transit platform, and it may apply to your locality or one near you. So ideally, Hacktoberfest will be an opportunity for us to reach out to people or be discovered by people who are interested in such things and our other projects as well. Hacktoberfest is not only for coding, so some of our projects really could use some ideation on user stories, for example, and people outside of Las Vegas might have some interesting things to contribute. And as well, I mean, hey, we could use some help on some iconography, I guess, logos and things. GitHub projects have a social component so that when you share a repo link, you can have an image, an open graph image. I haven't really even tested this, but so that when you share the project, you see a open graph image. So we need those. So who knows? Maybe people would like to contribute to those. But generally, being more aware of organizations such as ours that are working on open source software will be great, hopefully for us and hopefully for people looking for projects like this to work on. So Hacktoberfest, we are going to be in, even though it started officially yesterday, October 5th. People can sign up at any time up until October 31st. I signed up. Our DevOps account that manages our repos and whatnot signed up as a maintainer. I will attempt to contribute to other people's projects, so we'll see how that goes. I do that sometimes in my travels anyway. Pull request is a good thing sometimes. Not totally awesome and ideal, but useful. So we'll see how this goes. Why am I not up and running today? Why are we not totally jumping in with both feet on Hacktoberfest immediately? Well, NASA Space Apps Challenge. Hackathon is this weekend, October 7th and 8th. 10 weeks of weekly Zoom calls with the NASA Go team, global operations. Various issues with the website as recently as today, the NASA website as far as signing up and team formation and so on. So that's been something of a distraction in addition to our local efforts to get participation, so to get signups and have people show up at a hackathon boot camp and information meetings for people who have no idea what a hackathon is. So it's been a busy few weeks of effort. Our innovation culture in Greater Vegas will benefit substantially from these sorts of things, which I'll get to in a moment. So once our hackathon for the 2023 NASA Space Apps Challenge, it's the largest hackathon in the world. Once that ends at 11:59 p.m. in your time zone and mine, so it will end at 11:59 in Vegas, Pacific Daylight Time, October 8th. That's Sunday night. So we can, in earnest, turn our attention in the direction of Hacktoberfest proper. As well, not so much a focus, although if our communication and engagement with our school district here, Clark County School District, might ever be functional, the Congressional App Challenge is going on now. Those signups have been open for weeks, months, I think at least a month. The submissions are due by high school students in the respective districts where their representative in the U.S. Congress is sponsoring or enabling that participation. So Nevada has, I think all districts are available. Southern Nevada, certainly. So high school students can participate in, I think it's high school, maybe high school and younger. I do not recall. See, this is a thing I can look at after Space Apps. So Congressional App Challenge is another annual challenge. So there's always something going on. Through the year, we used to have monthly hackathon meetups. That was an attempt to foster in-person ideation. We have tons of whiteboards at the International Innovation Center downtown, which we had reserved one weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. And our attendance rate was dropping to, in recent months, 0. So it's time to rejigger that into a new engagement structure. Our outreach beyond Nevada coupled with this lack of in-person attendance, I should say, will drive us to more of a virtual or sort of asynchronous participation model rather than trying to coordinate one meetup per month. Although a hackathon approach is still valid. Trying to do it in person on a monthly basis in Southern Nevada, it was not working. Hopefully it will someday, but that is on, I will call it a long-term hiatus. So we'll see. We've descheduled completely from the Innovation Center, which was the time there was given to us, gifted to us. I don't know. It wasn't really donated. Part of the model that Don Jacobson, who runs the Innovation Center, part of his model is to enable community elevation efforts such as ours. So many thanks to Don for always being supportive. And we'll see if we need that space again, maybe into the new year. So yeah, I've only just touched on some of the possibilities when it comes to hackathons, innovation sprints, focused group ideation. These are important. Why? Why are they important? I often hear from people that they don't have time. This is not unusual. This is not a surprise. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not shaming anyone who doesn't have time. Often people who don't have time are parents. They are working a job that takes hours and hours a day. Sometimes they're working in a field where they cannot spend their time on other things. Maybe their employer has concerns about how they engage with any sort of innovation. These are special cases if you're working maybe for military or for research facilities. Maybe they don't want you to hang out with young, smart people who are also trying to come up with ideas. Who knows? It's unfortunate that people don't have the time, but it's understandable. So most people who would participate in hackathons are probably in high school, possibly in college, although I find people from UNLV here, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, are not directly engaged as I would have hoped so far. We're still only, just over a year, maybe 18 months into our cultivation of an innovation culture here. So we have work to do. But it's typically going to be high school and college students who have more time and are more inclined to think outside the box, to have their reach exceed their grasp, to sometimes tackle something they didn't really think about tackling before. They're not taking a class, or maybe they did take a class, but they didn't get to a lab opportunity. If they are interested in something that is not first robotics, but maybe something with fluid dynamics, maybe computer engineering, maybe gastronomy, maybe they're into food science, maybe, who knows, who can say, but the opportunity to take some time on a weekend or a couple of days here and there to try something new, to see what they can accomplish, to collaborate with others. These are all actual social job skills that will come in handy. The 20% project notion is popular in some companies, where you have people working at the company take a Friday or however they want to split that time up to work on something new. Famously, was it Gmail? Google was a strong proponent of the 20% project back when the don't be evil. Before they removed that from their corporate documents, they enabled a 20% project commitment. And many employees came up with some interesting ideas. I don't know if it was Gmail. I know there was a volunteer platform that supported collaborating and coordinating volunteer efforts. That was a 20% project because I know the person who did it. Other such things. So there is tangible evidence that allowing people to think outside the box on company time actually yields fruit. I would argue that it also yields intangibles like a better sense of empowerment, collaboration, ideation. If you are comfortable with sharing ideas with others and building upon them, turning them into action and innovation, and then implementation and deployment, maybe integrating with others, other platforms, tools, services, and I'm thinking software, but maybe you come up with new menu items or new preparation methods for food and beverage, or who knows. Empowering ideation and then innovation can lead to some profoundly interesting implementation. That will be important across the spectrum of possibility when it comes to ideation hub monikers. Although I like innovation destination, but that's another podcast for another time. So it is important to see how a focused effort, however brief, whether it could be hours, it could be a weekend, it could be a week, usually not longer than that. If you go longer than a week, it turns into a project with management and oversight and coordination and whatnot. So sort of an ad hoc or casual, take the weekend, or you can do sprints during the week, right? Your work day or work week might include, hey, this week we're going to come up with some new directions, or who knows. But to know that that focused effort, if it's brief even, can yield results, and that the results are not the end of the journey, but probably the beginning. The real solutions might come of those. And when that is established that first time, that first aha moment, then the next one becomes easier and so on. And this is absolutely valuable, possibly invaluable, in students in high school and college, but also, probably didn't think about this, 7th grade, about 12 years old. I have asked many people. I myself found this to be true as well. Right around 7th grade is where you start to often take classes with different teachers, right? You're not in a homeroom all day. Sometimes this starts earlier, but 7th grade, junior high school, often this is the beginning of a varied class schedule, varying teachers, exposure to different students, different subject areas, different parts of the day. There's a leaning into more organized sports and extracurricular activities, team collaboration, clubs. So 7th grade is where you can often start to see the budding interest in students in what they would like to pursue. If you enable that, if you encourage that with something like hackathons or sprints or focused collaborative projects, you will start to see results. And 10 years later, so the 22-ish, graduating from a 4-year college perhaps, might enter the innovation workspace. They might become entrepreneurial. They might go on to pursue higher education, master's, postdoc, PhD and postdoc research, who knows? So from my own experience and observation, 7th grade is about the time when you really want to start enabling and encouraging, and that's right there in our purpose statement. Enable and encourage ideation, innovation, and implementation to make our communities better. It's quite simple, and it can start earlier. There's nothing preventing a toddler from coming up with some cool ideas. But I profoundly believe, is that even a word? Is that a pair of words? Profoundly believe that that 7th grade is the time to enable and encourage those thoughts of career possibilities, those interests that are only beginning but can be fed and might lead to who knows where. So the value of Hacktober as a month, Hacktoberfest, specific projects like Space Apps Challenge, Congressional App Challenge, different companies. I think I saw Hasura is doing a Hacktoberfest sponsored hackathon with cash prizes. So there's open source. There's you can get some prizes if you need to be bribed. You can do it because you want to. You can do it because you want the money. You can do it for the fame, the fortune, the unspeakable future possibilities that are beyond description today. Who can say? Only ChatGPT, perhaps. So Hacktoberfest, Hacktober in general, a good time to ponder what does it mean to contribute to a project, whether it's your own or a project of others that you know. You might know the people. You might know of the organization. You might not. You might go online and just find something interesting or find something you've never done before. Maybe you can issue a pull request. I believe you have to get 4 pull requests accepted through the month to become you get some sort of recognition. I'm not looking at the site right now, but I have tons of things to do. Like I said, come Monday after Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, probably the better holiday. Christopher was a dork. If we can kick off properly our efforts to engage with the greater universe and on the heels of Space App Challenge and reach people who are interested, curious, maybe not so experienced, to take what they know, what they want to learn, and apply it to some pull requests, which are generally suggestions on additions, contributions to creative works. Creative Commons would also come in handy. But and in the future, if we can bring back the in-person hackathon project structure, we shall see. Definitely interested to see what people can come up with across the universe, like I said, in my travels, in my Hacktoberfest participation, and in whatever people are interested in if they come to our organization and see what we're working on. So there you go. So the value of Hacktoberfest, the value of Hacktober, that Hacktober is here, all important things. Specific Hackathon, Space Apps Challenge, Congressional App Challenge, various others, also important. They all add up to an elevation of an innovation mindset. And it's something that we absolutely need, not just in the greater Vegas area, although that would help, but an elevation of the mindset. And this is how we do interesting things, by innovating. So I'm hoping to see Hacktober shine with us, a part of it. So on that note, thanks for listening. Again, this weekend is going to be either crazy or boring. I don't know. We'll find out. October 9th, we will commence our more focused efforts on Hacktoberfest. And I hope that you will consider participating or tell a friend, your local nascent or aspirational open source contributor who wants to change the world. That's what that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish here and there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing this with others, telling people that there are such things as Greater Vegas oriented audio programs that are not about visiting the strip or exchanging cryptocurrencies. So there's room for everything. And we're focusing on a local innovation by local innovators. And maybe you're a V-local. And that is a different episode that has already been done and will probably be covered again in the future. Thank you for listening. Tell a friend. See you around the GitHub repos. And until next week.